Hi, my name is Emily. I'm 16 years old. Or at least, I was. Before you decide this is just another dramatic story about social media,
I need you to hear me first. I didn't believe stories like this either. I thought near-death experiences were exaggerations, emotional hallucinations, or stories people told to get attention online. That irony isn't lost on me now. I grew up in a normal American suburb, a normal house, normal parents who worked too much and worried too quietly. I wasn't abused. I wasn't homeless. I wasn't troubled in the way people expect these stories to begin. But I was invisible. At least, that's how it felt. At school, I smiled just enough to fit in. Online, I smiled perfectly. Every photo was edited. Every caption calculated. Every post. A silent question I never said out loud. Am I enough yet? Social media wasn't something I used. It was something I lived inside. I woke up to it, fell asleep to it, measured my days by notifications, and my worth by numbers that refreshed every few seconds. If a post did well, I felt light, almost real. If it didn't, the heaviness came back, the tight chest, the spiral, the quiet voice that said, "See, you don't matter." I followed girls who looked nothing like me but were praised like goddesses. Perfect skin, perfect bodies, perfect lives. I told myself it was inspiration, but it was comparison dressed up as motivation. And comparison is a slow poison. No one saw how bad it got. At night, I would scroll until my eyes burned, watching strangers live lives that felt brighter than mine. I laughed at jokes that weren't funny. I watched arguments, outrage, drama, absorbing anger that wasn't even mine. My thoughts stopped being my own. They echoed whatever I consumed. I still went to church sometimes, sat in the back, listened halfway. I believed in Jesus, but distantly, like you believe in a country you've never visited. Real, but not personal, optional. The night I died wasn't dramatic. No challenge, no viral stunt, no warning, just exhaustion. I remember lying in bed, phone inches from my face, tears sliding sideways into my hair. My heart felt like it was racing and sinking at the same time. I told myself I just needed to sleep, that tomorrow I'd feel better, that I'd delete the app, that I'd pray. "I'll do it tomorrow," I whispered. Those were the last words I remember saying. Then, something went wrong. My chest tightened. My breath wouldn't come all the way in. Panic flooded me, sharp and sudden. I tried to sit up, but my arms felt heavy, distant, like they belonged to someone else. My phone slipped from my hand and hit the floor, the screen still glowing. Then nothing. No pain, no fear, just silence. But it wasn't empty. I felt myself being pulled, not down, not up, but away. Like slipping out of a tight jacket I didn't realize I was wearing. The room disappeared. My body disappeared. And for the first time in years, my mind was quiet. Then I saw light. Not the kind that blinds you, but the kind that understands you. It felt alive, intentional, like it knew my name before I remembered it, myself. And standing within that light was Jesus. I didn't see anger in his eyes. I saw grief, not condemnation, but sorrow, the kind you feel when someone you love is hurting and doesn't know why. "Emily," he said, not with his mouth, but straight into me. "You are not forgotten." I tried to speak, but there were no words, only knowing. Every lie I believed about myself was suddenly exposed. Not harshly, but gently, like light entering a dark room, revealing clutter you didn't know you were tripping over. He showed me my life, but not as posts or memories. He showed me my attention, where it went, what shaped me, what discipled me. I saw hours poured into feeds that never loved me back. I saw my emotions being pulled, provoked, trained. I saw how slowly, subtly, my hunger for approval had replaced my hunger for truth. "This is how hearts are captured now," Jesus said. "Not with chains, but with constant noise." And then he showed me something that made my soul tremble. Not hell, not fire, but a generation drowning while smiling for the camera. And that was only the beginning. Jesus didn't rush me. Time didn't move the way it does on earth. There was no ticking, No pressure. Only clarity. The kind of clarity that feels almost unbearable because it shows you truth without filters, excuses, or captions. He showed me the world again, but this time, I wasn't inside it. I was above it. I saw millions of glowing threads connecting people to their phones. Some were thin and loose. Others were tight, wrapped so deeply around hearts and minds that they pulsed with anxiety. Every notification tugged on those threads. Every like sent a jolt. Every hateful comment darkened the glow. "This is not neutral," Jesus said. "It is formative." I saw teenagers lying in bed like I had faces lit blue in the dark, scrolling long past exhaustion. I felt what they felt. The comparison, the envy disguised as admiration, the sudden drops of self-worth after seeing someone else praised. I saw young girls learning to hate their bodies before they even understood them. Boys learning to measure value by dominance, attention, outrage. Children absorbing anger meant for adults. Everyone shouting, no one listening. "What you look at," Jesus said gently, "you eventually become." Then he showed me again. Not how others saw me, but how my soul looked. I expected to feel shame. Instead, I felt compassion. His compassion for how tired I was, how desperately I had tried to feel loved without believing I already was. I saw moments where I could have looked away, but didn't. Moments when I felt the nudge to close the app, to pray, to rest, and ignored it. Not out of rebellion, but habit. "That is how distraction wins," he said. "Not through hatred of God, but forgetfulness of Him." Then the vision shifted. I saw the algorithms, not as code, but as something else layered over them. Dark currents that fed on attention, outrage, division. They didn't care who you were. They didn't hate you. They used you. I saw lies spread faster than truth, because lies provoked emotion. I saw anger rewarded with visibility. I saw people slowly trained to perform versions of themselves that weren't real, until they forgot who they were without an audience. "This is a harvest," Jesus said, "and many do not know what they are planting." I wanted to scream, to warn them, to tell everyone to log off, to stop, to run. But then Jesus showed me something that broke me. He showed me how he saw them. Not as addicts, not as shallow, not as lost causes, but as sheep surrounded by too many voices. He showed me moments, small, quiet ones, that never went viral. A girl choosing to close the app and cry instead. A boy deleting a post even though it would have blown up. A teen praying one honest sentence instead of posting another filtered lie. Those moments glowed brighter than anything trending. "Heaven does not measure influence the way Earth does," he told me. Then his expression changed not to anger, but urgency. "You have seen the wound," he said. "Now you must carry the warning." I felt fear for the first time since arriving there. "Go back?" I asked, without words but with dread. "Yes," he answered, "because many are dying inside, long before their bodies stop." I didn't want to leave. The peace here wasn't the absence of pain. It was the presence of truth. Staying felt like finally being home. But Jesus looked at me with a love that sent, not one that kept. "They will listen to you," he said softly, "because you lived where they live." Then the light began to pull away, not harshly, but firmly, like being called out of deep water just as you realize how safe it felt. The noise returned. Weight, cold, pain, and suddenly I was breathing again. The first thing I felt was pain. Real pain. Heavy. Crushing. It slammed into me like I'd been dropped back into my body instead of gently placed there. My chest burned every time I tried to breathe, and my head felt like it was splitting open. There were voices urgent, overlapping. "Stay with us. She's back. Check her pupils. Don't let her fall asleep." A blinding white light hovered above me. I tried to move, but my body didn't obey. Panic surged until I realized something that made tears spill down the sides of my face. I was alive. I later learned I had been gone for just over 9 minutes. 9 minutes, with no heartbeat. 9 minutes where the doctors had already started preparing my family for the worst. One nurse told my mum she had never seen someone come back after that long, without severe brain damage. But I woke up clear, awake, whole, and carrying something heavy. For days, I didn't tell anyone what I saw. How could I? How do you explain that heaven feels more real than the room you're standing in? That love can be a presence? That truth can look at you? But the message wouldn't leave me alone. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw those glowing threads again. Millions of people bound to screens, starving for affirmation, drowning in noise. I felt the same urgency Jesus had felt. Not anger, urgency. So, I started talking. At first, it was just my parents, then a pastor, then a small group at church. Someone recorded it. Someone else shared it. I didn't plan that. I didn't want attention. I was terrified of it. But the comments came anyway. Some said I was lying. Some said I was brainwashed. Some mocked me with memes and edits. And that's when I understood something Jesus hadn't even needed to say. The message itself was already proving his point. Social media doesn't just reveal hearts, it shapes them. I saw people react with compassion, and others with rage so intense it scared me. People who had never met me felt justified, tearing me apart because a screen made it easy. Because outrage feels powerful. Because cruelty gets rewarded. But I also saw something else. Late-night messages from strangers. I deleted TikTok tonight. I forgave someone after hearing this. I prayed for the first time in years. Those messages mattered more than all the views combined. Jesus was right. Heaven counts differently. I'm not here to tell you social media is evil. I'm here to tell you it is not harmless. It trains your heart what to love. It teaches your mind what to chase. It slowly convinces you that being seen is the same as being known. It isn't. You are already known. That's the part I wish everyone understood. When I stood in that light, I didn't feel impressive. I didn't feel important. I felt seen, without performing, without proving, without posting. And nothing on a screen has ever come close to that. So if you're watching this right now and something in you feels uneasy, if you're tired, angry, addicted, or numb, please hear me. That tug isn't shame. It's an invitation. Guard your heart. Choose silence sometimes. Choose mercy before sarcasm. Choose real presence over digital applause. Because what you feed your soul every day is shaping who you are becoming. I didn't die so I could be famous. I came back so I could warn you. And if even one person looks up from their screen tonight and remembers who they are, then it was worth it. There's something no one tells you about coming back from death. You don't come back the same. People expect you to be grateful, smiling, inspirational. They expect a neat ending. What they don't see is the grief that comes with returning. Once you've experienced perfect peace, this world feels painfully loud. The first weeks were the hardest. I would wake up in the middle of the night, heart racing, reaching for a light that wasn't there anymore. The silence of my room felt empty compared to that presence. I missed it, not in a dramatic way, but in the way you miss home when you're far away and pretending you're fine. And yet, I understood why I was sent back. Because now, I could see it everywhere. At school, at the mall, sitting in waiting rooms, at dinner tables, heads down, thumbs scrolling, souls restless. I watched friends take selfies, delete them, retake them, again and again, like their worth depended on an invisible jury. I saw people break down over comments from strangers who would forget them in 10 seconds. I saw confidence crumble and anxiety grow, all measured in likes, views, and follows. And I kept hearing Jesus' words echo inside me. What you look at the longest becomes what you listen to. Social media wasn't just distracting people, it was discipling them, teaching them to compare, teaching them to perform, teaching them to hate without consequence. I realized something terrifying. Most people don't choose who they become anymore. Algorithms do. They decide what angers you, what scares you, what you desire. And slowly, quietly, they pull your heart away from anything still, sacred, or true. That's the dark side no one warns you about. It doesn't feel like darkness. It feels normal. That's why it's dangerous. Jesus didn't show me burning screens or demons with phones in their hands. He showed me hearts slowly hardening, mercy being replaced by mockery, compassion drowned out by noise. Because that's how it always starts. Not with evil acts, but with neglected hearts. I'm not telling you to delete everything. I'm not here to control you. That's not how love works. I'm here to ask you one question, the same one I had to answer after I woke up. Who is shaping your inner life? Is it outrage? Is it comparison? Is it constant noise? Or is it truth, even when truth is quiet? Every single day, you choose what voice gets access to your soul. And those choices don't feel big in the moment. They feel small. Just one more scroll. Just one more argument. Just one more post to prove something. But I saw where those small choices lead. I saw what happens when mercy is ignored long enough. And I also saw this. Heaven doesn't force you. It invites you. Right now. Not tomorrow. Not after you fix yourself. Right now. You don't need a near-death experience to wake up. You just need the courage to pause. To forgive. To log off sometimes. To love people who don't agree with you. To guard your heart like it actually matters, because it does. I came back with scars on my body. But the deeper scars are invisible. The ones I see forming in people every day who don't realize they're bleeding. Please don't wait until silence is forced on you to learn how to listen. Life is fragile. Your heart is precious. And eternity is closer than you think. I didn't come back to scare you. I came back to remind you. You are more than a profile. More than a number. More than a moment of attention. And the choice that shapes your soul is being offered to you again and again, every single day.